So the Ticats lose to the Lions 37-17. And Steve, is it possible that a scoreline like that could actually flatter the Ticats?
Yeah, at the start of the game, you and I were talking, we were joking, what's going to be the time of possession, with, especially in the first quarter, the way it looked for Lions? And I suggested it might be infinity because they just had the ball the whole time. And Mike Benavides, the coach, talked an awful lot about that with Hamilton. And that's what everybody around the league feels. If you can just control the ball against Hamilton, you're going to win. You have a great chance against Hamilton of winning because you got to keep that offense off the field, and the chance that they can explode like they normally do. Well, they didn't have any chance of exploding today, except imploding. Yes, it was a terrible performance, top to bottom. You and I have talked about inconsistency all year. I think it's past that at this point. If I had to judge right now, I'd say they're getting worse rather than being inconsistent.
3 games left in the season. We'll have to see what happens the rest of the weekend to find out how badly the Ticats, what kind of hole they're in. But, I mean, do you have any confidence that this team can make the playoffs at this point?
Not confidence in the team making the playoffs. You could have confidence, and that's a funny word for a team that's 5 and whatever they are, 5-10 is it now? Yep. It's more about the forgiving nature of this league. It's more about the Eastern Conference, which is not a really healthy place right now, right from top to bottom. I mean, this team can still make the playoffs with a couple of wins, and I would say home game's gone pretty well. But boy, I mean, the Argos aren't exactly world beaters. Winnipeg's certainly not. Edmonton's not. The forgiving nature of this league is a great thing, but sometimes it rewards not the right thing. This is going to sound awful cruel, especially when the Ticats are still in it, but they should not be in it with the way they are this year. It'd be a better lesson for them if they weren't.
I guess the big question I think people are going to start asking now is who's to blame for this mess?
Top down. Always top down. That said, I think it's pretty well everybody. It doesn't look right out on. This is the first time. I mean, there are times when I thought, well, they're not really up for this. It just didn't look right, this game to me. It didn't. And I can't put my finger on that, and therefore not to blame. You and I have been over this a lot, both privately and in public. You know, the coach himself took the heat on this one, as he responded to your question, and he said he blamed himself. But that didn't seem wholehearted to me. I think that's a thing a coach says. But I would say, coach is an issue here. Not an issue, but yeah, has to take blame for sure. I mean, part of it is getting the team up. That team didn't look up to me, and boy, this should have been the easiest day in the world to get a team up. Yes, not a lot of players have played here in the old stadium, so it doesn't mean much maybe to a lot of them, but to a lot of them it does. And to those it did, saying, you know, with the announcement of the new stadium, that should have meant something. I mean, it meant, I don't know, it doesn't mean a whole bunch of players because in some ways it's irrelevant, but that's got to transfer somehow. And maybe that's a coaching thing. Maybe it's a captaincy thing. It could have to do with the leadership in the locker room. But I'll go back to it. On a day like today, to come up with that kind of performance, there's something wrong. I can't put my finger on it. Personnel isn't good enough. There's no doubt about that on defense. And I don't think it's a matter of just gelling. And I don't think it's a matter of newness and inconsistency. Those are all contributing factors. They aren't the whole factors. I think a lot of blame can go around here, but boy, I think pretty well you got to take some of this blame off the field and put it in the front office.
Make sure you check out Saturday's Spectator for a full game report, and Steve will be writing in Monday's Spec. So make sure you check that out as well. Reporting from Ivory Stadium for the Hamilton Spectator with Steve Milton, I'm Drew Edwards.